G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Where's My Yowie. Today, I'm reading an old newspaper article about wild animal scares in the bush, so we'll get into it. This was published in Sydney's The Land on Friday, the 5th of April, 1935, titled The Barwon Crocodile and Other Outback Mysteries, Wild Animal Scares in the Bush, by E.S. Sorensen. It is remarkable the number of strange wild animals that are discovered from time to time in different parts of the country, particularly New South Wales. The latest mystery is reported to be a large crocodile, which had startled many observers along the Barwon and Darling rivers. It was first seen in the Barwon and was presumably cruising towards the Murray. The object started speculation in the river towns as to the possibility of a crocodile migrating by Queensland tributaries to the southern waters. In 1898, a 7-foot crocodile was found in the Brisbane River and set a legion of scare yarns circulating around that stream. The saurian had been captured when a baby by a sugar grower on the Johnston River and sent to a friend in Brisbane to be sold to a menagerie. But it escaped from its tank and got into the river, where it remained until it grew into a formidable beast. When its presence became known, scores of riversiders swore off fishing and bathing, and the swagman who had to get water from the river dipped his billy from the end of its long stick. The traffic in young crocodiles could introduce the creatures to other rivers, and, like the river tortoise, they can travel long distances across country when forced by dwindling water to emigrate. In the 1902-03 drought, the Flinders became a chain of waterholes, and in some of these, particularly near Clutha Station, crocodiles collected in great numbers. Scores of them were shot on the banks, and many that were driven from dried up holes died out far out on the downs. Several were found 6 miles from the river, still looking hopefully for a better hole. A big crocodile is an ugly beast to meet on the overland, and when a traveller has met one, he puts in some uncomfortable nights for a long time afterwards, fearing danger at every second, and viewing logs in a dim light with suspicion. One was shot far out from the Norman River, near the 14 Mile, during the same drought, measured 16 feet in length. In New South Wales, the scare animals were mostly tigers, lions and bunyips. The Tantawangalo tiger was prowling mystery for several years and appeared intermittently in many places, including Springdale, Wallenbean, Cootamundra and Mount Harriet. It was described as cat-like with big yellow stripes. It killed 5 pigs and a number of turkeys in the Temora district, and simultaneously or thereabouts, it was seen by several sober residents of Running Creek on the upper Minna River. The striped mystery was first reported from Cootamundra in 1927, when several dogs, sheep, kangaroos and a heifer were destroyed by it. And 5 years later, it was reported from the Tantawalango Mountains and the Tantawalango River. In the interval, hunting parties had scoured various localities near Wallenbean. One fired 3 shots at a beast that was 6 feet long and stood 2 feet 6 inches high. That was on Darra Station, between Stockingdale and Wallenbean. The story was told that a couple of tiger cubs escaped from Bullen Circus and Menagerie while the caravan was camped at Dingy in September 1926, and many people believed that the terrors were prowling separately in different paths. A beast that was known as the Jamboree tiger, which had been a night terror for a considerable time among the local poultry, was shot at dawn in March 1933 while raiding a fowl house at Albion Park, and proved to be a fine specimen of a tiger cat, over 4 feet long from nose to tail. Sometime previously, there was an excited hunt in North Queensland for a marsupial tiger, which also transpired to be a tiger cat. In those parts, this formidable giant of the Daisiras grows to a considerable size and will attack and kill a full-grown kangaroo. It is mostly spotted, but some specimens are striped, and the head is not unlike a tiger's. It is the fiercest and most pugnacious of all Australian animals. Dogs that will rush at a dingo don't like tackling the nocturnal spitfire. A beast that had a long innings was the Tantanoola tiger, which prowled around Mount Gambier, South Australia. It was reported but eluded capture for such a length of time that it came to be regarded as a myth or a fantod and was a standing joke with Sydney and Melbourne papers. But the scare persisted throughout the southeastern part of the state. Eventually, about 1896, the animal was shot a few miles from Mount Gambier by a Glenelg resident named Donovan and proved to be an Assyrian wolf. It was 2 feet 8 inches at the shoulder and was supposed to have escaped from a travelling menagerie or from coastal wreck. Donovan had the skin stuffed, and for years it was an attraction to visitors. Hard in New South Wales had a lion scare, which was reported from Black Range and North Devon. In Gippsland had a mystery animal of a comic creature. A party of residents who set out with guns to capture the latter discovered strange footprints on the Tarra Valley Road. They weren't expert trackers, but they followed the marks for a considerable distance and discovered that they had been tracking the district mailman who had lost his boots in a landslide caused by floods. Not long afterwards, a huge wombat was captured in the vicinity. An earlier scare was near the Murrumbidgee, in a region that was productive of several fearsome beasts, most of them creatures of the imagination, including a leopard that evaporated and a bunyip that vanished in the river. The Murrumbidgee bunyip got a good deal of notice in 1902. Several scared residents reporting having seen a weird amphibious quadruped near Gundagai and Currawarna. One described it as having a head like a rhinoceros and spots on the neck and shoulders. It came out of the water after his dogs, which bolted from it in terror. The Talong bunyip appeared some years later, a reputed denizen of a lonely pool in the Shoalhaven River, difficult to access and with ages of tradition behind it. It is situated near Rose's Crossing, but a place that was shunned by the Aborigines, who said, "Big fella bunyip, sit down there." A French-Canadian recluse used to live in a small hut in the vicinity and often fished in the pool. His body was found in it, and a rumour had it that the mystery beast had dragged him in. This animal was said to have a pig-like snout and a body as large as a horse. Every strange creature that is glimpsed or heard in the water, especially in deep pools in lonely places, is alleged to be a bunyip. It is popularly supposed that this is merely an Australian equivalent of the Irishman's banshee, but that the bunyip at one time existed in many waters over a good part of eastern Australia is beyond doubt, and it was an animal greatly feared by all Aborigines. Urumbar Lagoon, Dawson River, was still shunned by the Aborigines as a bunyip water when I was there in 1895. So were certain big holes in the Burnett River, which no Aboriginal would enter or camp near. Long ago, Dr. Hagen Hua, who spent many years among the Aborigines, had a skin given him, which the oldest Aborigines in his charge said was that of a bunyip, captured by their great-grandfathers among some Gippsland swamps. It resembles a huge otter. There may be bones in the fossil beds, but the trouble would be to identify them with the famous bunyip. That great cemetery of vanished monsters, the Darling Downs, has produced koalas the size of cows, wallabies 14 feet high, lizards 20 feet long, besides several colossal beasts not represented today, including the Diprotodon, marsupial lions, and an alligator 30 feet in length, which was named Palinarchus Pollens, Old Pool Ruler, by Charles de Vise. Today, Australia has 2 crocodiles but no alligator except at the zoos. The marsupial lion had a wide range over New South Wales as well as Queensland and South Australia. Searchers find its bones deep in the beds of vanished lakes, particularly in the neighbourhood of Lake Frome. But the evidence of the Aborigines, it appears that the bunyip was more a dreaded creature than ever, the old pool ruler. In some parts they speak of the Wawee, a terrible beast that lived in big swamps and lakes, but Wawee is possibly another name for bunyip. One striking commentary is that Aborigines who will swim in rivers where man-eating crocodiles are numerous and dive in shark-infested waters can't be induced to swim in what they call bunyip waters or make their clamps close to such places. And that's pretty interesting, this. And in Townsville, I've seen Aborigines swimming in waters that were like crocodile-infested and shark-infested. So it's interesting that they'll swim in those places, but they won't swim in bunyip waters. But the favourite bit of this bit that I really liked was in Gippsland they had a mystery animal of a comic character, and a party of residents set out to capture him, and they discovered strange footprints, and it turned out to be the mailman had lost his boots. They thought they were tracking a yowie, and the bloke lost his boots. I reckon that's a classic. Okay, that's it from me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.